Do you want to create the next big hit, like Dragon Ball and Naruto? Do you want to get an anime adaptation of your manga? Do you want to finally be recognized and inspire the next generation to create their own stories? We love those big dreams that you have, but let's reel it down 1 second. You can't hit all those big goals if you don't take baby steps first. Remember, you gotta learn how to crawl and walk first before you can even start running.
Quit running, you little moron!
Unfortunately, a lot of beginner mangakas try to jump the gun and skip multiple steps before they're even ready. We're not just talking about drawing skills here. A lot of beginners feel insecure about their art never being good enough. But there are actually bigger problems than that.
Say what?
When you're a mangaka, you're essentially an artist, a writer, and a director, all in one. So many skills to develop, so little time. Make sure to stick around until the end because we're gonna try to address the top 5 beginner mangaka mistakes so you can finally get your first story out into the world. If you've been trying to put your manga out for years and you finally feel like this is the time to put your story on paper and inspire other people with your message, then we invite you to book a consultation call with us and see if you'd be a good fit to be a founding member of our online one-shot manga drawing program. We'll teach you everything you need to know about drawing, inking, character design, backgrounds, perspective, writing, paneling, storyboarding, and all the skills you need to create a compelling one-shot. You'll be working with pro mangakas live during Zoom sessions, and you'll be together with the community of aspiring mangakas just like you. Are you ready to transform your manga journey? You can book a consultation call with us through the link in the description. We've met a lot of mangakas who fall deeply, madly in love with their stories. We're talking about a 5, 10, 20-year relationship with this amazing epic. Designing unforgettable characters, building a unique world, fixing any plot issues. It's gotta be perfect because they want their readers to enjoy and fall in love with this story as much as they do. We hate to break it to you, but your first ever story is probably not going to catapult you to success. More likely, it's probably gonna flop, especially if this is your first manga. And your obsession to make it as perfect as possible, it's biting you on the butt more than you know. Remember, perfection is the enemy of progress. In the book Art and Fear, they share a story about a pottery teacher who divided the class into 2 groups. She instructed Group 1 to work all together all year to create one perfect piece of pottery. Meanwhile, Group 2 was told to make as many pots as they could. Group 1 was graded based on the quality of their one pot, while Group 2 was graded based on the number of pots they finished. Who do you think made the most beautiful pot? Group 1 or Group 2? The results? The best quality pots actually came from Group 2. Group 1 focused their efforts on researching, planning, brainstorming all year round, and they channeled everything into this one single pot, trying to make it perfect. But Group 2 made so many pots. The first few pots were like, average. But as they realized ways to improve, be more efficient, their pots just became better and better and better. Eventually, they surpassed the quality of that one perfect pot from the other group. You trying to perfect your story is like Group 1 trying to perfect that one single pot. But as we saw from the success of Group 2, you've actually got to put in the volume of work. You've got to be doing more, not just simply conceptualizing or theorizing. In our previous videos, we've talked about how if you've never made a manga before, you need to create a one-shot. Creating a standalone story in just 16 to 20 pages offers a great way to practice your storytelling, hone your drawing skills, and even explore what kind of genres or themes you like. According to Yazawa Sensei, one of our pro mangaka mentors, you're better off creating 4 16-page one-shots than one long 60-page one-shot. You're not going to instantly become a better mangaka or a visual storyteller without finishing a couple of subpar one-shots or chapters. I mean, if you look back at your art from 5 years ago, it looks pretty cringy, right? But you kept at it, you kept practicing, and now you've improved from then. It should be the same as your manga. Your first few stories might not be the best, but you're definitely going to get better. A lot of beginners think that they have the best story. Because they like it, there's bound to be someone else who like it too. You need to learn how to put your own emotion or ego aside and listen to your market. After all, if you want to make it as a pro, you need to be able to sell your work. Unless they're your family and friends, your readers actually don't care about you. They care about themselves. What excites them? What makes them happy? Ideally, you want to aim for this: an overlap between what your readers want, what you want, and the manga style of your choice. By manga style, we mean the publishing style and genre of your choice. For example, you can create regular published manga that's black and white, or fully colored webtoons, or even just one-page short comics published on your own Instagram or Twitter accounts. Depending on the genre you choose, you also need to insert certain elements or tropes to fit the mold. Ultimately, it really depends on what your goal is for your creator journey. To help you identify your audience, we've shared the different demographics like shonen, shoujo, seinen in our previous videos. One person asked us,
So, what do you call it when you try to write for everyone?
It's called a recipe for disaster. I mean, if you want to get published in Shonen Jump, you have to appeal to their existing fan base, right? Imagine one day suddenly seeing a shoujo manga like Kimi ni Todoke in there. It would be totally weird. But seriously, you can't please everyone. Instead of trying to get everyone to like your story and getting pulled into different directions, just pick one demographic to concentrate on. It helps you focus your energy. Plus, it doesn't mean that because you pick one demographic, other people can't read or enjoy it anymore. Naruto, for instance, is a shonen manga, but it's well-loved across all ages and genders. Knowing your audience really makes a difference. It affects how you design your characters, how you create your plot, how you present your story, and maybe even your own art style. For example, let's look at Clamp. They're an all-girl mangaka group. They're very well known for their shoujo titles Cardcaptor Sakura and Magic Knight Rayearth, which were released in the 90s. But they also made Tsubasa Reservoir Chronicles, which is a shonen manga. Look at the difference in the art styles alone. From thin, delicate lines and cutesy, flowery visual effects to stronger line art and more dynamic lines and action scenes. Cardcaptor Sakura ran for 50 chapters in Nakayoshi from 1996 to 2000 and had a 70-episode anime run, while Tsubasa Chronicles ran for 232 chapters in Weekly Shonen Magazine from 2003 to 2009. It also had a 52-episode anime. As you can see from Clamp, you can create different titles and switch target audiences and be successful at both. We get a lot of beginners who ask us, I want to get into Shonen Jump. How can I produce one chapter a week? You can't. It's just impossible for a one-man team to produce Shonen Jump quality chapters every week. Let's break this into numbers. The average manga page has about 5 panels. That means you have to draw 5 separate illustrations per page. Shonen Jump chapters are 20 pages on average. That means you have to draw 100 illustrations in total for one chapter. Think you can do that by yourself in just 1 week? That doesn't even include the ideation, writing, and storyboarding process. Shonen Jump mangakas have 3 to 4 assistants working for them at a time. If you include the mangaka themselves, you have about 4 to 5 people working full-time to produce weekly chapters. Let's say they all work 8 hours a day and they take the weekends off. 8 hours multiplied by 5 people multiplied by 5 days of work. That's about 200 hours. Let that number sink in. 200 hours put into one single Shonen Jump chapter. If you try to do that by yourself and work 24 hours for 7 days straight, that only comes up to 168 hours. You're still 32 hours short. It's just impossible. If a pro mangaka needs 200 hours to work on about 20 pages by themselves, they need about 20 days working 10 hours a day to complete one chapter. That's doable in 1 month, provided that you also take the weekends off. But again, let's be realistic. You are not a pro yet. According to our pro mangaka mentor, Rena Saya, in manga technical colleges, you actually get about 3 months to finish a one-shot of 16 pages. If you're a total beginner, you can try to follow that same timeline for yourself and adjust accordingly depending on how many hours you can dedicate to your manga per day. Again, you want to use 200 hours as the bare minimum baseline. Since you're not as fast as a pro, maybe you need about 300 to 400 hours instead. If you can only dedicate 20 hours to your manga per week, that means you need about 15 to 20 weeks. That's about 4 to 5 months for a 20-page chapter at Shonen Jump quality done by a one-man team. A lot of beginner mangakas feel like they're not good enough. I need to improve my art first. I need to fix my story first. I need to do XYZ first before I'm even good enough to start my manga. Does that sound familiar? Stop overthinking and just do it. I know you're scared of putting yourself out there, making something ugly, getting criticized by people you don't even know. But think about it. Are your dreams bigger than your fears? If your dream is worth it, then it's time to be brave. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the judgment that something is more important than fear. Think of your favorite anime or manga character and how they were able to overcome their struggles, despite all the challenges and insecurities they had to go through. To give you a bit of inspiration, even the big mangakas we know and love today didn't start out that amazing right off the bat. If you're worried about your drawing skills, then I want you to think back to the first few chapters of Attack on Titan. The art wasn't exactly amazing. I mean, even until now, the creator, Hajime Isayama, isn't really well known for his drawing skills, like, for example, Yusuke Murata, who illustrates One Punch Man. But what did work out for Isayama sensei is his talent for creating characters that readers can root for and being able to develop such a fresh, interesting story and premise that no one has really seen before. He might not be perfect in the art aspect, but his ideas and characters are really captivating. If you're worried about creating the perfect story and a bulletproof plot with hardcore story building, then I want you to know that even the great Dragon Ball author Akira Toriyama actually messed this up. You see, Toriyama sensei didn't actually plan things out very well for the Dragon Ball manga and had to retcon and change a lot of the story's lore and even some of the character visuals down the line. One of the biggest revisions was Goku's origins. Did you know that Goku wasn't originally a Saiyan at first? In early parts of the manga, he was an Earthling, but once Goku became the strongest on Earth, it was suddenly revealed that he was actually a Saiyan who was sent to Earth as a baby. Toriyama sensei admitted that this wasn't originally planned out, but he was smart enough to reveal this as a plot twist in the story so readers didn't complain. It just seemed natural. At the end of the day, these big mangakas are still human, and you see them grow, improve their art, storytelling, paneling as the years go by. It's gonna be the same with you. You'll be able to build more skill and improve as you create chapter after chapter after chapter. But you have to start somewhere. Remember why you even made your story in the first place. You have this great idea. You want to share it to the world. You want to inspire other people. You want to prove to naysayers that you can make it. So don't get caught up in your self-doubt. The world deserves to see your greatness. The other day, I spoke with an aspiring mangaka who had been wanting to put their story out for over a decade. I asked, "So what's the problem? It's been years and you haven't gotten anywhere." He said,
I did work on 1 to 2 chapters, but then lost motivation.
This is pretty common. We get discouraged, we don't feel inspired, we lose steam. So relying on motivation isn't really a good idea. Honestly, there will be days when you feel like you're not at your best. Days when you feel lazy, days when you want to give up, especially when you don't see results right away. So, how do you stay focused? Is it having a clear goal? We are absolute believers in the power of manifestation. The clearer your goals are, the more likely you'd be able to make decisions towards actually making them happen. But at the end of the day, it's not enough. Some of you may have all these big dreams, being the next big hit, wanting an anime adaptation for your manga, and yet you might not even have a single chapter of your manga out there yet. When you think about it, pro mangakas and aspiring mangakas both aim for the same goal, but one group has made it and the other is still stuck. So it's not the goal that's the problem, it's the process to get there. You have to create a system for yourself. How often do you want to practice? How do you go about improving your art, creating your stories, publishing your work, getting feedback from readers? The usual assumption is that once I reach my goal, then I'll be happy. But what happens when you don't become famous? What happens when you don't get an anime adaptation? You're left with only two of these outcomes. Either you achieve your goal and are successful, or you fail and you are a disappointment. This is why so many beginner mangakas get paralyzed by fear. This whole mentality can suck all the fun out of making your manga, because you're just constantly unsatisfied, always thinking, I'm still nowhere near my goal of becoming a mangaka. Maybe I'll never be able to make it. The popular belief is that in order to achieve success, you have to focus on your goals. But what if you were to focus on your system, your process instead? If you were to fall in love with the process of improving your art, writing your stories, creating your own manga, showing your hard work to the world, then you wouldn't have to wait to give yourself permission to be happy. You can be satisfied anytime you're going through the process, anytime you're creating your manga. And imagine being able to commit to your process and doing it every day. If you could just get 1% better every day, imagine how that compounds and eventually translates to your manga. I mean, if you started last year, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago, and stayed consistent, how much better do you think you'd be today? We know everything we've just shared is easier said than done. I mean, you probably wouldn't even have watched this video if you had already figured out a way to overcome these common beginner mangaka struggles in the first place. If ever you've been feeling lost and stuck in your manga journey for years, not knowing what the steps are or what to do next, then we'd love to invite you to apply to our online one-shot manga drawing program. You'll get personalized feedback from our pro mangaka mentors and extra support and accountability from our team and your community of fellow mangakas. The link to apply is in the description. In the meantime, here's a free 50-minute training on the 6 steps to create your first one-shot manga. These are the exact same steps that pro mangakas also go through. See you in the next video.